Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of TD 101. In our last episode, we were given a rectangle and we were required to draw a square that is equal in area. In this episode, we will now be given a square and we are going to be required to draw a rectangle that is equal in area. Stay tuned. Okay, so we'll start off by drawing the square. And in this case, one side of the square will be equal to 60 millimeters. So I'm going to draw the baseline and I'm going to indicate a point. And measure 6 millimeters to another point, or 60 millimeters rather. The first point is point A. The second point is point B. Then I'm going to take my set square and turn it so that I am going to draw a vertical line. I'm going to draw lines from A and B that are vertical, and I'm going to measure them both, or I can just measure one, 60 millimeters. This is point C. Then from point C, I'm going to draw a horizontal line. And at this point, I can brine. And this point will be point D. You can now go ahead and brine the square. Then you'll have the square to work with. And that's the square. The next thing that we're going to do is to draw the baseline for the rectangle. And in this case, when drawing a square equal in area to a given rectangle, you don't need any measurements for the square. The measurements will work themselves out. But in this case, you need at least one side for the rectangle. In this case, the given length for the base of the rectangle will be 80 millimeters. So I'm going to measure 8 from A. And I'll call this point E. So one side of the rectangle is given, and that is AE. Now, you are going to connect point E to point D of the square. Then, once you have done this, you are going to bisect AE. So let's go ahead and bisect this line. This is the line we're supposed to bisect. So if I said something else before, so we are going to draw a line AE that represents one side of the rectangle. Then we are going to connect that point, the new point that was created as a result of that line for the rectangle. We're going to connect it to point D. Then we're going to bisect the line ED that was created as a result. So I'm going to open my compass to more than half the length of the line to be bisected. And at each point, I'm going to swing two arcs, one at the top of the line and one below the line. Once I've done this, I'm not sure if you're seeing the arcs brightly. They're bright enough for me. Let me brighten them a bit for you. All right. You are then going to draw the bisector line, ensuring that they go through both arc intersections correctly or accurately. Then if you notice, the bisector line will cut the baseline of the rectangle at a point, and we'll call it F. That point F will be used to draw a semicircle. So we'll go ahead and open the compass from F to E, because F is the center point of the semicircle and E is one of the points on the semicircle. You're going to swing an arc and it should cut the baseline for the square, right? And you will call that point G. Now G is a crucial point, because once you have gotten point G now, you're going to take your compass once again, place it at A, and put it at G. AG is the length of the other side of the rectangle, but you need to transfer that measurement. So I'm going to open the point AG. So open the compass point, the distance of AG. So you place the compass point at A, put the pencil point on G, then swing an arc. Once you swing that arc, that will cut AD. Wherever that cuts AD, that is I'll call this point H. This is another point on the rectangle. Then you're going to simply take your T-square, draw a horizontal line from H. Then you're going to take your T-square and set square and draw a vertical line from E. And you can brighten this line. And I will label this point I. Now you can go ahead and brighten AE and HI, those two lines. And you have here a rectangle that is equal in area to a given square. Now, the length of the one side of the square, let me write what I did, or write the measurements. So this is the square, and the square is called A, B, C, D, where AB is equal to 60 millimeters. That's all the measurement you need to draw the square. For the rectangle now, this is the rectangle. I'll call it rectangle EAHI. Where EA, which is one side of the rectangle, will be 80 millimeters. If you notice, when drawing a rectangle based on a given square, where the rectangle is required to have an equal area, you need at least one side of the rectangle. Whereas if it was the other way around and you're drawing a square that is equal in area to a rectangle, you don't have to get any measurements for the square. So there you have it. I hope you grasped the concept that was taught here today. And please remember to like, subscribe, and share the content. And have a good day.